This is Channel 25 WVTT Olean. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, this is the 6 o'clock report with Jeff Andrulonis and Alexa Olson. Listen on News Radio 96.7 WVTT or watch on News Channel 25 WVTT television. WVTT proudly presents the 6 o'clock report.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Andrulonis. Good evening. The big story tonight on the 6 o'clock report, new information for you about a weekend fatal fire in Bolivar that left 3 dead.
That's right, Jeff. WVTT has received new information about these involved in that fatal fire in Bolivar, New York. We sent WVTT's Derek Smith out to Bolivar earlier today. He got an exclusive look at what's left of the house neighbors were calling unlivable.
Bolivar firefighters received a phone call Sunday morning to this Bolivar residence engulfed in flames around 4:15 a.m. 2 toddlers and their grandmother died in this horrific fire, making it the greatest number of fatalities in a single fire in almost 30 years in the Bolivar town. According to Fire Chief James Beaton Jr., the damage was so bad, fire investigators were not able to determine the cause. It took firefighters 4 hours to fully extinguish the blaze and an extra 8 hours to examine the debris. Experts could not identify the cause. The sight is unreal, and I can still smell the burnt ashes and feel the heat from the extinguished fire right behind me. Authorities are saying here lies the remains of the home that burnt down early Sunday morning at 4:15 a.m. that took the lives of 42-year-old Tina Kemp, 3-year-old Eric Holmes, and 2-year-old Jessica Holmes. Neighbors said that they heard popping noises believed to be oxygen tanks exploding inside the establishment. New reports are arising, claiming the kids were staying with their grandmother because their mom is in jail and couldn't take care of her children. 62-year-old Terry Green and 1-year-old Charles Holmes managed to escape. Neighbors said that they were amazed anyone was living here. They thought this home was vacant. Derek Smith in Bolivar, WVTT.
Could Thomas Smith be close to turning himself in? According to the Cameron County Echo newspaper, they received a handwritten letter from a person claiming to be the man who allegedly held a woman at gunpoint 2 weeks ago in Emporium. Details in the letter give a very different picture. Pennsylvania State Police are trying to determine that letter's authenticity. The 58-year-old Clear Creek man is still being sought for the incident investigators say is believed to have stemmed from foreclosure proceedings on his house. There were no injuries in that incident in Cameron County.
The possibility of the Olean Tile Company closing is getting the attention of a U.S. Senator who is looking to take action. Yesterday, U.S. Senator Charles Schumer personally called Dall Tile President John C. Turner Jr. to urge that the company work to keep its plant in Olean open. Staying open would save 174 jobs in Cattaraugus County and potentially add additional jobs during the tile company's reorganization. Schumer says he'll take action after learning that the company is evaluating their Olean plant as part of a necessary reorganization. Schumer said in a statement, to put it simply, I will do all that I can to work with Dall Tile to keep its Olean plant open for business and save 174 jobs in Cattaraugus County. He went on to say the Olean plant is the perfect facility where Dall Tile can easily and quickly add more manufacturing jobs. The plant in Olean is part of the lifeblood of the region, and I will fight tooth and nail to save these jobs and bring more work to Western New York.
At a media luncheon at the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford earlier today, University President Dr. Livingston Alexander took the time to update the media on the newest developments on campus. One of those new developments, the reveal of results from the Economic and Community Impact Study that was recently completed. The result, every year Pitt Bradford contributes tens of millions of dollars to the economy. They have it pegged at $67.5 million. Dr. Alexander notes that Pitt Bradford contributed $39.7 million in direct expenditures in McKean County alone.
The results of an economic and community impact study that we commissioned, and we have the results. And the results are remarkable, they're astounding actually. And we were very pleased actually to to receive this new information.
Well, a study done by the Consumer Reports publication is leaving a bad taste in the mouths of many who work at Olean General Hospital. Consumer Reports gave OGH a safety ranking of 27 out of a possible 100. The results are based on a survey of millions of patients' responses, and according to the Consumer Reports, 6 categories were taken into account: infection, readmissions, communication, CT scanning, complications, and mortality. WVTT reached out to Dennis McCarthy, the communications director at OGH, who explained that this rating was just not representative of the hospital.
And our point was simply this, that report was promoted heavily by Consumer Reports nationwide, and it is a paid publication, and the data is flawed. It's not very useful. It's 5 years old. The point of the Consumer Reports issue was really just an illustration of how confusing and how flawed some of this stuff can be, and we really need to. When we talk to the public, we will say, yeah, there are other reports. The government, the Hospital Compare site, which is run by the U.S. government, which all hospitals participate in.
To read more, you can visit www.consumerreports.org. Well, the famous environmental activist Erin Brockovich is going back to Leroy, New York to discuss findings that she and her team have been researching. Brockovich is going back to Leroy and has been interested in Leroy ever since she heard about these 3 teens from Leroy High School who mysteriously fell ill and developed a tic. After multiple tests and screenings, doctors could not find out what was causing the teens to have these symptoms that made them convulse uncontrollably. Brockovich suspects there could be something contaminating the water or the land that the teens came in contact with. Brockovich is scheduled to talk in Leroy tonight.
It's expected to take about 3 months before the new pedestrian bridge on the Pine Street pedestrian bridge in Bradford, PA wraps up. That pedestrian bridge will also be a gateway to the Community Park walking trail. Now, community leaders hope the bridge will be another piece of sprucing up the community, which in turn will attract new development. The bridge is just one of the improvements in the Pine Street area, which includes an area in the middle where people can stop and take in the view. Coming up on the 6 o'clock report, the latest coming out of Syria and hot water in the Sea of Galilee for a congressional delegation that included a local U.S. representative. The 6 o'clock report continues on News Channel 25 WVTT. Stay tuned.